You're watching Brazos Valley This Morning on KBTX News 3.
Hours before the first phase of reopening Texas, local health officials took questions about the virus here at home. And Rusty, you were part of that call today, and there were several topics covered in this afternoon's briefing.
Yeah, there was, Carla. In Brazos County, in the last 3 days, there have been a total of 15 new COVID-19 cases that have been confirmed. And Dr. Seth Sullivan said today in the briefing that there is concern that there's going to be a second wave to all this later this year.
The concern here is a real one. You know, will this come back over the summer? Will this come back over the fall? No doubt about it. That is a concern.
Dr. Seth Sullivan on Thursday addressing concerns that COVID-19 is far from over here in the Brazos Valley. Health officials say as more testing is available, numbers will go up. Stopping the virus is going to be tough, but they say it is possible to slow it down and keep numbers low. The key to that's going to be contact tracing.
This process, along with testing and isolation, is important to box in COVID-19.
Dr. Sullivan also talked about the antibody test that many rushed out to get earlier this month. He says the health department is collecting the data, but it hasn't been very useful.
You know, I'll put it this way, Rusty, we're not seeing all of these tests positive. We're not seeing that at all. And the early numbers that I had from before were less than 5% of these folks being positive. But it's really hard to pull that forward and say that this is how many have been affected here, because there's bias in who shows up for the test. So unfortunately, still a lot of challenges with those. But to answer your question, yes, we are collecting that information. I wish I could give you more clarity about what it's telling us.
And as far as anybody getting the antibody test in the future, Dr. Sullivan said it's best to talk to your primary care physician and get their opinion and their take on whether or not it's worth going and getting that test. Carla, there were members of the BCS Operation Task Force that was also part of that news conference today. They are posting guidance for area businesses as they get ready to open up tomorrow. We'll link their full guidance online for you to read at home if you want to online on our website.
Thanks, Rusty. Here's
KBTX.
We're not going to keep them closed because you know what? That's not what the order says.
That is a Montgomery County judge this week claiming the governor's order to reopen some businesses Friday is too vague. He said unless there's some clarity in the order, he wouldn't force anyone to stay closed. Well, tonight that clarity came from the Texas Attorney General. Rusty Surratt is in the Digital Center with more on the issue. And Rusty, the Attorney General says is clearing up any confusion there could be about this.
Yeah, that's right, Carla. With only 2 hours left before the stay-at-home order is lifted in the state of Texas, tonight the Attorney General is making it clear there is no wiggle room in what the governor has ordered. Now, it was on Tuesday when Montgomery County's judge posted this video on Facebook, essentially challenging the governor on his order. He called it too vague and too unclear, and because of that, the Montgomery County judge said he would allow all businesses to reopen on Friday. Well, right after that, we spoke exclusively with the governor to clear the air.
I went back and looked at the order, and I can understand what he's looking at, the reason why he thinks it's vague and ambiguous, and we're working on getting him an answer swiftly.
And here you go. Tonight, Attorney General Ken Paxton making it very clear in a formal opinion, bars, gyms, public pools, hair salons, all remain closed. Paxton's response is, quote, news reports have suggested that the order does not prohibit these businesses from opening their doors to the public. We disagree. And Carla, the Attorney General Ken Paxton said any local order that tries to go beyond what the governor has done is, quote, invalid.
Rusty, thank you. Over in Madison County, the county judge says a curfew will remain in effect despite that state shelter-in-place expiring, and again, despite the executive order issued by Governor Greg Abbott. Now, Tuesday, the governor told us there should be no mandated order that requires people to stay home.
What my executive order does is currently through April the 30th, there is a stay-at-home policy, and that stay-at-home policy is being lifted. As a result, after April the 30th, there should be no mandate that people stay at home at any particular time, whether it be a curfew or otherwise.
Now, the governor did say people over 65 should continue to stay home if possible. Some